Hey, back to this review of the Samsung B7722. Um, like I said, this phone, the reason I got it is because of this. Not because it's touchscreen, not because it's resistive or it's a Samsung or whatever. Simply because it's a dual SIM phone. And not only that, it'll run both phones active at the same time. Both SIM cards active at the same time. I'm just going to throw this into slot 1. I don't have a second SIM to show you at this moment, but both SIMs do work. And both will connect to respective phone networks at the same time. Let me turn it back on. The screen's a little greasy. I mean, it looks like there's lint on it or something. I got a little lint underneath the screen protector, but it's not a big deal. The rest of the phone, pretty solid device overall, although it looks pretty cheap. Time and date must be set. Do you want to set it now? No, don't really care. Okay. Oops. Okay, so as I said, contact. I pressed on the contact list. It said initializing. That's the thing about this phone, is that it is slow in everything. Now there's a little lag time when I'm scrolling through this list of contacts. David Hume, Ian Farr, Jeremy Guinness, nobody's. I think that may be definitely notice the lag in when I'm moving it left to right. That's not a big deal. That's probably built in. Sort of like Nokia with their the Symbian Touch, or even the S3 Symbian 3rd edition now. There's a little bit of lag when it switches through, and that's okay. It's meant to do that. Maimo does that too. But notice how long it takes those widgets to pop back up. I mean, it's a simple calendar, simple SIM card reader. Let me go back. I mean, profiles. It takes half a second, and it's noticeable, regardless of how much time it is. It's definitely noticeable. A review of the phone itself. Like I said, it's all plastic. It makes it feel a little cheap. I don't think there's any metal at all. I think that's chrome. Plastic covered or painted to look like chrome. Still, a decent looking device. Not worthy of something that is priced at $300. I mean, the E72 is cheaper than that, and definitely looks like a moneyed device. This does not. The plastic backing that is fingerprint, awesome. Doesn't help either. A single solitary speaker down there. But like I said, that's not the reason you buy this phone. You buy it because it has a big ass screen, 3.2 inches. Pretty nice. It's a plain LCD screen, not AMOLED or anything. And you buy it for the fact that it has 2 SIM cards, which is pretty awesome, actually. And if that's your main function, this is probably the best phone that you can get on the market. That'll handle 2 SIM cards with quad band on each, and 3G, of course, world 3G, not US 3G, on the first SIM card only. So second slot won't have 3G, but hey, you've got 2 freaking SIM cards, so I don't think it really matters. Overall, the phone is very basic feature phone setup. As you saw, 3 home pages. The background is customizable for each set of SIM cards. So if I had a second SIM card in here, for example, I don't have it, so I can't show it off. You know, it would show up with a separate background. Widgets would all stay the same. You know, you still get the same scrolling, this and that, but you know, the background would be, you know, 3 different sets. Just so you know sort of which, you know, phone you're using. The rest of the functions of the phone, overall the phone is pretty mediocre in terms of, you know, what it does. It does have Bluetooth and a very nice visual way of setting it up. Let me see if it'll show it here. It won't show it here, but if I set up, the graphic view, excuse me, and this is applicable for the Wi-Fi. You know, you'll turn it on, and then it'll show, you know, in concentric circles around you, sort of where you can find, you know, other Bluetooth connections and how far away they are from you. Actually, let me see if I can do that with the Wi-Fi. Okay, tap there to turn on Wi-Fi. And you know, who do you want to connect to? And sort of, I believe, I'm not sure if this is based on strength or range, or I don't know how I would tell range, but it's probably based on strength. You know, sort of just a graphical view, a graph type output of just sort of, you know, where you are. By the way, that's the back key, and I don't believe any sort of long press does anything, so it's a single, you know, single tap back. The functions are within the phone itself very basic, very feature phone oriented. It does have some social networking, but it is you know, once again, super slow. I don't know if it's the RAM or if it's the CPU itself. Let me see if I'm connected to a network here. I should be, but there we go. Pardon the wheat. And it failed. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's one of those days. So I don't think I'll be able to show you the web browser, but take my word on it, it is awesomely slow. You know, you can see it. You know, it takes a good damn second to sort of get anywhere. And also, secondary thing is, it does have auto rotation, by the way, is that in the browser, you know, you have to load everything else. The entire page has to load before you can actually end up using it, which is kind of irritating as well. You know, everything else, like I said, very basic. It has cool ways of presenting it. You know, a little folder view. You know, strewn about like collage, list. It does manage to do little cool things like that with all these basic things, but overall, it's a pretty dumb phone. You know, you're not going to be doing anything fancy with it. You're not going to be running any apps on it. It'll have what it has. You know, you'll be happy with the calculator. It doesn't even do the widescreen calculator. As far as you know, contacts go, you know, the list is there. Everyone is who they are, and then you can sort of do, you know, the visual list as well. Oops, excuse me. Once again, look at that load time. You can call, text, whatever. Let's say you text somebody. So we type away, and you know, you notice we only have this T9, not T9, but the number pad. Excuse me. You can type this way, you know, using T9. You know, hi. or you can go to, you know, a landscape mode where you can just type away. How are you? And you saw a little autocorrection popping up there. Typing away isn't bad. This is a resistive screen, so there's no multi-touch, so you can't, you know, hold one down and type the other and this and that. But typing away isn't too bad. The only problem is that landscape keyboard is only usable in the text message / email. And in the web browser. So for example, if I was to make a new contact and, you know, I need to type in a whole bunch of stuff on them, email, this and that, I can't use it. Anywhere else you need to type anything in this phone, you cannot use the keypad, you know, sideways, which also once again gets kind of irritating. The only other thing I can think of that you really want to do with this phone is take pictures. And luckily that is somewhere where this phone does shine. Video camera is not that great. Pretty low resolution, as you can see, 320 by 240, and they're very low set of frame rates. But the camera, the still camera portion, is not that bad. If you can see up there, you can set up to 5 megapixels, of course. Little stability correction, if you will. You can set up the exposure metering, you know, automatic flash, you know, red eye, all that stuff, and it's not bad. I have to admit, it's pretty good. And the flash isn't anything big deal, but it's nothing to complain about. You can scroll through you know, your sort of gallery of photos there, just like on the iPhone. Let me take another picture. So, I would definitely be happy if, you know, if you're getting this camera just for the SIM card, or sorry, excuse me, if you're getting this phone for just the SIM card, I just had a brain freeze there. The SIM card capabilities and the, you know, that by itself is a reason to get this phone. The only other redeeming quality it has is the camera is pretty good. It has face, you know, smile detection, a stability sensor, a decent flash, big, you know, 5 megapixel resolution, pretty good details. Otherwise, there's nothing else you really want in this phone. Not a bad phone, but it has, I think it's a very focused niche market. You know, dual SIM with a nice big screen and a decent camera. Because I'll be honest, everything else on this phone sucks. It has these widgets, but they're horrible in terms of use. There's really nothing big deal about them. Don't bother with YouTube because it's slow like nobody's business. The resistive screen, you know, there's no problem with resistive in general, and I don't have a problem moving things around on here, but I think its slow processor speed, you know, I think just makes everything worse. It makes everything seem a lot slower, a lot more useless. So if you want to get this phone for dual SIM and a good camera, you can get it. Everything else, it's bad. Slow speeds, slow browser, slow everything. It'll take you an hour to type a text. It's the honest truth. So only get this if you need 2 SIM cards. And you want a big screen. The rest of the other dual SIM card phones are pretty small. So this does have that going for it.